everyone, it's Annette Green back again with my weekly scrapbook planner series. Last week was week 8 here. If you are new here, welcome. I am documenting my 2023 in a Elizabeth Craft Designs planner. This is the full-size vintage black, and each week I take some photos and I just sort of document my weeks. And so here we go. We left off on week 8. And I'm just going to finish that up really quick, but today's video is about week 9, which will be on this page here. Before we get too far, I do want to have you stand by. I want to show you this little TN, Traveler's Notebook, at the end of the video with a new release from David on the design team. And also you'll see a few little tiny sneak peeks this particular week from me coming out soon. Okay, so I'm in a hurry today. I got no time to mess around, so I need to get that photo on there. I've already journaled, and then I need to get going on this. So the very first thing I do when I'm in a hurry especially is I decide what are the givens that I know have to go on this page. My weekly number has to go on this page. Now, is it going to be that color? I don't know. I cut another one, I cut a couple. So I need a 9. And also we are now moving into the month of March, so I'm going to have a March somewhere on the page. I know that. And maybe a little title-y thing. We'll see about that. Some photo mats. I got some paper ready because I have already looked at the photos that I want to use. Now this is going to go on week 8, but these 3 here, you know, there's Paul with some blue and there's some blue jeans. So I'm thinking some blues on this page to kind of ground all that out. So I've just been grabbing like some blue cardstocks, maybe some crafts, ivory, just getting those basic things together without a real solid plan yet. Okay, I'm going to pop that photo in there, but I just wanted to show you because I've already encountered an issue that may come across your way at one point or another. I did leave this free of glue here, but maybe not enough, and now I can't get my photo behind there all the way. So I'm just going to grab my scissors and just eyeball off this corner on a little bit of an arc. See if that helps, if that works. And it kind of does. A little bit more maybe. Just as long as I can get it behind there. And that's good. So I can see through here that the photo is showing through. So good. And last week, if you watched, you may remember me saying that this photo was going to be black and white, but when I took it, it was like, you know, almost black and white anyway. And then this here kind of matches what I got going on, so it's kind of perfect. So I'll get some adhesive on there and I'll get that on the page, and then we'll start with week 9. And I just want to show you, see this right here? That's the glue that was on the back of my photo because I got it all glued up and then I dropped it. So happens to the best of us. But there it is, it's on my page, looking good. And so that was enough of a sneaky peek, right? This is my new release that's coming out later in March. So you can't really tell what's going on, which is intentional, of course. Okay, here we go. Got my photos cut out. And yes, I've already kind of developed a plan. That's why I know what size I want these to be. It's just something. Sometimes I think through with you on the video out loud, and sometimes I do it ahead of time so it doesn't take up a lot of time. This is one of those weeks where I don't have a lot of time. I just made those decisions ahead of time. Okay, so if you remember from last week, because I cut the paper, this is the background page, I had to cut this with the X-Acto blade, the craft knife, to get this beautiful flower to come to the front. And I said, you know, now we have this on the back, you know, all this stuff, and we have to fix that, cover it up or something, right? So what I decided was, let's see how this looks first. Paul's got his blue. It might be too much blue, and maybe it could have been the reverse. Let's just see. Oh, that might have been better. What do you think? I think so. I'm going to switch those. Sometimes I do make decisions with you instead of ahead of time. I didn't realize that it was going to look like that till I laid that photo on there. And now we know. Okay, so I think this is going to look better with my main photo. This is Paul and I on a hike. And I do want to talk about when you're composing photos, but we'll get to that in just a little bit here. So let me get this together while I'm talking. As I was deciding on the blues and the earthy colors, of course, it was because I was looking at my photos. The hike with a lot of browns and the accents of blue in our clothes. I felt like my background page, the way that it was, needed a little more blue in the background. And since we have to cover up that one area, that's where that's going to happen. Okay, so I was thinking, you know, outdoors, hikey, wood grain. Wouldn't that be nice? So this is just a piece of this sheet from the Worn Wood collection from Elizabeth Craft Designs. And I have pre-planned out this area here and just given it a tear on a diagonal. So I'm going to get that on there, and that'll be the start of this page. It's not going to be a pocket because I'm trying to keep my pages flat, not too much layer, not too much bulk, because I'm really trying to get this all into one planner. I already feel like it's not going to happen, but we'll see. We shall see how far I get. Okay, so I'll get that on there first because I know that's a definite. Okay, cool. So we've got that. And we've got March, which I don't know, it might go up there like that this time because I don't want to take up like a lot of room this way, I don't think. So, and you know, if you're new here, this is what I do. I share my process, my thought process. So sometimes I learn, or you learn from watching me learn, from testing out things and trying different things. So I've got my 9 here that I have cut out of this black and white paper, printed paper, and I originally was just going to put it on there, and it's okay, it works, but I kind of want to get some craft back there. So would it look weird to do 3 colors? Maybe. Maybe just the black and the tan. I don't feel like that makes it pop at all, so I'm kind of feeling like these. So if I just kind of ink the edge, maybe that's all that needs. It's just so stark off-white here. And I've done this before where I make just like a little drop shadow out of the second color back there, just slightly offset down and to the right. Okay, and I like to put those together now even though I don't know where they're going, just so I can move it around and get a feel. I don't think I like this happening, so March may get turned. March may be a different color even. How's a 9 look up there? Does it stand out enough? Perhaps. But I do like to do a little cluster thing, like I always talk about overlapping. And there's a little sneak peek stamp. I had this scrap. This is from, you know, 49 Market. I just had it laying on the table, and it had that same yellow value as in my paper back here. So I think I want to put this down here. My Simple Life, maybe March will go down here. Well, I don't mind that. But I do have more photos to come. See, I've got our hiking photo. I've got my hiking shoes. They may or may not make it. I don't know. It's just kind of a thing. It's not, I've already said we've gone on a hike here. So we'll see. And then we went out for this lovely cauliflower veggie pizza, and I rewarded myself with a Starbucks after I had my annual mammogram. So I figure that's a better photo than what actually happened, if you know what I mean. And honestly, I should celebrate by going and having pancakes. Does that make sense, ladies? But I went and got Starbucks coffee. All right, well, here's where I'm getting at, okay? I know that I want to use these little tabs. I'm not going to have any big journaling thing because, you know, it was just a day hike. I might say what trail we took, but I think I want to use these little tabs. And these are fold over tabs, but I'm not really going to fold them over anything, so I don't need that extra bulk. So I'm just going to cut them. So I have 3 for my 3 photos, possibly 4, we'll see. And I'll just write a little something instead of having one big journaling thing. So those have to be added to the photo area, and that's why I'm talking about them now, so we can figure out the position. And I still need photo mats, of course, on these, so I'm thinking here's where we have something about hiking, and we've got to leave room for tabs here. So perhaps this one will go this way and this one will go this way. Well, that looks pretty good. March is still floating out there. Maybe it's just too big. I feel like it's pretty big. Maybe what we can do is cut this down. I mean, I used a cute ticket die, and of course I will list all the dies I've used as always, but I think I'm going to get rid of that. I'm just going to cut this down close and make this smaller because it's not the star of the show. Why does it have to be so big, right? See, that's much better, I think. And now I can work it in just about anywhere without too much interruption. Could I get this in there? I don't think so. It's too much. Okay, I'm going to get some photo mats cut for those and we'll take a better look at that. Before I get too far now, I just realized I did not re-poke or repunch these holes after I covered them up, so it's easy to see them from the front, of course. And just using my crocodile, no need to run it through the die cutter for that. Okay, so here we go. We've got this, and you know what, I decided against the pizza thing because as I'm looking at it, it just doesn't look like anything. It just looks like a mess. It was delicious. It was really good. You know, but it's not making the cut. It's just not. So I did decide that because I love my Keen hiking boots so much that they're going back in. So let's see. We know we have this strip and we know we have our 9. And we're not going to worry about where March goes just yet. What did I say I was going to do? I was going to put one of these over here and one of these here, and then this one down here. It's getting a little tight. Got to scooch, scooch, scooch. No reason why these can't overlap a little because right there, my pant leg is nothing exciting. Why can't we cover that up a little bit? And where's my other one? This guy here. Okay, looking good. I'm liking it. Now we have March. Where's March gonna go, you guys? I think it's just gonna go up there. It's got to, I'd love for it to overlap, but I don't think that's gonna happen. It would be weird if it just butted right up to it. No, not too weird, but I don't love it. I want it to come up over here. So maybe I need a color behind there. I think that's what I'll do, just to make it a little bigger. I know you're thinking, well, you cut it down smaller. Why? Now you're making it bigger? Yes. Yes, I am. Okay, I think I'll use the craft knife for this. It's not super straight, that's why. I'm just gonna kind of do my best. I really should just use the scissors and not worry about it. But because I hand cut that black around March, it's not super duper straight. Okay, so I think that will look a little better. And especially if we ink the edges like we've done with the other ivory cardstock pieces over there, those tabs, I think that'll work. It's all over the place, but I'm happy. I'm thinking this is it, okay? But there's one more thing I want to do. See this area here? I just want to put a little green in there. So I'm going to remove all this and try to remember where it all went. Ha. And stamp a little something something right here. Okay, now this can be a little scary because you just have the one shot. So here's what I like to do. That photo is in place just as a placeholder, but I'm going to take a pencil and just make a little mark so I remember where this bottom corner is and that most of this is kind of going to be covered. And also, because I have some layers back here, and I'm about to stamp on there, I think that that's going to cause me some trouble. So just for the sake of not getting the ink all over my little cushion, I'm putting a cushion under here. And I see my little, let's turn it this way. I see my pencil line right here. Okay. So I'm going to take this little sneak peek fern stamp, and I'm going to stamp it right here. Ooh, 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 hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath. The reason why we use the cushion is so you have a little bit of a give, especially with those bumpy layers. If you were really, really scared, you could put this in your stamp platform. But that looks pretty darn good. I'm happy with that. All right, so let's lay the photo back on there. See how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to get this all together now. We know what we have. We know where it's going. No need to watch me glue. And I will be right back. Okay, page is done. I did add a little more stamping up here and over here. Just felt like that nice little triangle thing worked well. And I did my journaling, got all my things on there. I didn't end up overlapping these. No need. It worked out just fine. Okay, so it's ready to put into my little planner here. But I wanted to remember to talk to you about photo composition. And I was just going to look back to see had I done it in some of these other photos. Okay, so I want to show you an example of why sometimes some photos are just more pleasing than others and you don't really know why. And maybe you've heard of this rule before, but do you see how in this photo Paul is not centered right in the middle of the photo? He is off to the left and kind of up there, right? And to me, it's just so much more pleasing looking. So we have the stairs here, and then he's off to the side. You know, we get the gist. It doesn't have to be right smack in the middle. So I'll show you examples of where, if someone is in the middle, how different it looks. This is my iPad, and I want to, well, you know, that's okay. He's in the middle. Not too bad. But here, even better, he's off to the side. See that? He could have been right smack in the middle. It just wouldn't look as good. And I don't really know what that is. Is that rule of thirds thing? I don't know. But he took a picture of me right in the middle. And to me, it's not as pleasing. I should be over here in front of this tree with our view in the background. The photo isn't really about me as much as it is about me being in the woods and with our beautiful view. So anyway, it's just something to think about when you're taking photos. Examples, you know, these are just silly pictures of me, but I'm almost always off to the side, right? It just looks better. I can't tell you exactly why, it just does. So just try to remember that when you're taking photos. Again, there we go, off to the side. It's just more pleasing. And before we close, I know I promised that I would talk about my little TN here. Thank you for watching this part. And so what we have here is Elizabeth Craft's the passport size. And this is like, I forget what they call this one. I'll put it in the links below. But I have added stuff to the cover. So there is this little fabric-y pocket on here, like leathery. And then it's this beautiful green color. And I'm about to go visit Jamie, my 25-year-old illustration superstar, offspring. I don't know how else to say it. Anyway, I'm going to go visit them. They live near Chicago at the later part of March. So I already made this up. I do this a lot when I go on a trip. I go ahead and I make up a little book and I fill it with papers, and I don't adorn anything yet at all. But I have used some new things I want to talk to you about, and these are from, like I said at the top, David on the design team. It's his first release, so I'm excited for him, just like, you know, me with my first release. He's very excited. So David has 3 stamps and 4 die sets. And David's whole thing is the art journal series. He is the new guy in charge of the art journaling series. And he has developed all these page dies with file folder tabs, 2 different sizes, pockets, splatters, you know, keyholes, all kinds of fun stuff. and symbols, question mark, wax seals. You'll see how some of the stamp sets go with these little pieces as well. This wonderful little envelope, a key, this cool background art. I mean, you could use this in your daily journaling, not just an art journal. If you are so inclined. I'm not so much an art journaler myself. I do like to memory keep though. So, you know, always the dies within the Elizabeth Craft Designs offering, they all can mix and match and work together. His stamp sets, this is Journal Phrases 1. Look at this, has a million phrases that have to do with art and crafting, you know, crafting in progress, eat, sleep, craft, repeat, my happy place, art journal, memories. So I'm going to use that in my travel book. There's a couple of phrases in there for sure. And then you have all these great pieces, a typewriter, a quill, an ink pen, a fountain pen, clips, journal your life, the pencil sharpener, super fun. And then all the months and numbers for all the days of the month, little labels, and this great background stamp. If you've seen anything by the design team, amazing samples, my goodness. And this just came out, so it's really hitting the shelves and flying. People just love it. And I can't wait to play with it more. So I'm going to probably utilize a lot of these stamps and dies into this little TN when I get going and actually document what we do on our little trip. But you can see I've just used like random scrapbook paper. Gosh, some of this stuff you might recognize as very, very old stuff from different companies. But I have used David's dies to cut some of those pages, the little file folder tabs. I already made a little vellum pocket on this one. I must have had it laying around, just stuck it on there. But anyway, I just was excited to show that just from the start. And then of course, as I fill it, I will share it again. So that's pretty cool, right? Okay, there was lots to share today, and I feel like I just flew right through it. So I hope that wasn't too fast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little something about composing a page, composing your photos even when you take them. Also wanted to point out that my photo mats are not the same size when I move down to a smaller photo. Some people feel like they always have to be the same, but I kind of feel like when you go smaller, the photo mats should be smaller as well. So it's a little tighter there, as you can see. So I'm happy. I got week 9 done. Every Sunday, I sit down and do it. Are you scheduling time out for yours? Are you keeping up? I'd love to hear about it. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week.